What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new video here. So recently we had a major appearance from Sam Harris on a podcast where he absolutely trashed Joe Rogan, Dave Smith, Lex Friedman. I mean, he was leaving no one out, going after them viciously, basically saying they are one of the main reasons the political dynamics in America right now is so divided, basically accusing them of platforming liars, being inept at being able to push back against a lot of these statements. I mean, he was vicious in his criticism, and we're going to show you the full clip of him just leveling them. And it's interesting too, guys, because Sam Harris used to be a common guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. He was on Lex Friedman, and for him to be this critical kind of shows the split between people on the left like Sam Harris and then people on the right who used to not be on the right like Joe Rogan. And it just goes to show you the complete difference in ideology that's occurred over the last few years. I mean, Rogan, again, he gets into it. We'll talk about it after, where basically in his Trump interview, Rogan does not push back at all, lets him say whatever he wants, basically lets Trump lie. He's done the same thing with Tucker Carlson. He's done the same thing with Daryl Cooper, all of these guys. And it's really wild to see, okay? And let's just show the clip before I talk about it any further. Here's a clip of Sam Harris basically destroying Joe Rogan, leveling him, trashing him, and Lex Friedman. So here's the clip, and we'll talk about it after. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. We're so close to 500 subs, so hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get there in the next few days. And my Amazon links and Patreon link are in the description as well, so check that out. Make sure to subscribe. Here's the clip, and we'll talk about it after.
And this is something I've complained about with Lex Friedman, right? I mean, Lex is another very nice guy. I don't think he's ill-intentioned at all, but I mean, he's going to sit down with Putin, really, and conduct an interview. That's going to be useful for the world. I mean, that seems extraordinarily unlikely to go well. I mean, I would love Lex to prove me wrong there, but I saw how it goes when he talks to people like Tucker Carlson or Kanye West or any other controversial figure. So some of those conversations have been just disastrous founts of misinformation. So it is with the All In podcast guys, right? Like, I don't know. I only know Jason. I've met David Sachs once, but I can't say I know him. But I was a big fan of their podcast in the beginning. When they were talking about just business stuff and entrepreneurship, and I mean that was fun and useful, and I think they were giving a lot of valid information there to people. But once they got political, once they got deep into once David Sachs began spouting Kremlin talking points, quite literally Kremlin talking points, though he would roll his eyes at that description. And they were completely unencumbered by any valid journalistic or academic correction of this Dunning-Kruger effect that took hold over there. It's been a disaster, right? And they had Trump on, and they had Tucker on, and these interviews were totally irresponsible, right? And I think quite politically consequential, right? I mean, when you look at all the legions of tech bros in Rogan's audience and in the All In podcast audience, and this vibe shift that took hold in tech, those two podcasts in particular, I guess I could add Lex to that. I think we're largely responsible, right? And the normalization of supporting this personality cult in Trump. I mean, Elon also played his role. It's been disastrous, and I'm not sure. Again, apart from an economic catastrophe, I'm not sure what is going to break the spell. But the errors that these podcast hosts have been making are absolutely obvious, right? To any real journalist or any real academic touching any one of these subjects, the errors they're making are crystal clear and totally avoidable. And so, I mean, to do this job effectively, as a member of the independent media, you still have to internalize the norms that made real journalism in the past, right? And if you don't want to be a journalist, and you don't want to be an academic, and you don't want to be an intellectual, and you just want to be an entertainer, well, then don't interview Vladimir Putin, right? I mean, it's just insane to be subjecting our political process to that level of pollution in the information space. I mean, it's like to again, Joe's got effectively Holocaust deniers on his podcast at a moment where anti-Semitism has become more consequential globally speaking, than it has been since the Holocaust, right? I mean, that's his contribution to this moment. Uh, it's
Okay, and again, that's super interesting for a number of reasons. I mean, number one, like he said, he's being nice, and I think they're nice people and they have good intentions, but in the end, they're just in over their head, specifically Joe Rogan, in over his head on a number of issues. I mean, he's obviously gone far to the right. Most of his friends are right wingers. And frankly, he doesn't push back at all against any Republican talking points, it seems. In his Trump interview, Trump even said, I never called Hillary crooked. I never said that. And he doesn't even say anything. He doesn't even, he just lets him lie. And he knows it's a lie. And if he doesn't know it's a lie, it's your job to know that because you're broadcasting it to tens of millions of people. It's your job to do that. And not to mention, especially, he even said to him in the interview, okay, everyone does not let you talk about election denialism. I'm going to let you talk about it. So lay it out and let's see what you have to say. He says nothing. He has no idea what he's talking about, and Rogan just sits there like, "Oh, okay." And again, people watching that, it's more of a shoot the shit kind of vibe. It's all about vibes with a lot of these guys, and they don't actually push back on policy and a lot of the things they've done. And the entire goal of people like Trump and a lot of these politicians or Tucker Carlson, they go into these places to try and rehabilitate their image. That's the entire purpose, guys, of doing these kinds of interviews. And you can honestly, I agree with Sam. You could make the argument that guys like Joe Rogan, guys like Lex Friedman, they successfully rehabilitated the image of Trump. They just did that because, again, it made Trump just seem like a normal guy shooting the shit with a bunch of buddies, even though they're not even talking about some of the crazy shit he's done in the past. And he is right too when he puts Holocaust scenarios. I mean, that guy Daryl Cooper, he had on basically who says Churchill was the enemy of World War II, one of those guys. A couple months ago, that guy was literally posting pictures of Hitler in France and said this is like better than what's happening now. That's pretty insane. And that Joe Rogan, one of the biggest podcasters in the world, is platforming that and basically not even pushing back that much. Like, oh, that's interesting. Again, he's mainstreaming a lot of ideas that were once conspiratorial. And when you don't have enough information to push back against certain things, a lot of people know that. A lot of people see it and they think this is what everyone's talking about. And even though the reality is it's not true. And I think Sam makes a lot of good points. And again, he says some things like he criticized Dave Smith saying he has no idea what he's talking about, Israel Palestine, which seemed a little bit too much for me. I don't agree with everything Sam was saying, but the general point he's saying is they're in over their head in a lot of cases. I think that is true. Like Lex Friedman, when he's talking with Zelensky, he says to him, like, hey, do you want to do there's something you like about Putin? Like asking a question like, dude, this guy just invaded his country and he killed millions of his countrymen. And you want him to like try and like make a relationship with Putin? I mean, it's completely insane, man. It's very childish, honestly. It's childish. And I just think it's a problem with the media environment we see today. I really do. So Sam Harris basically laying out the punches on his former friends, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman. So it's wild to see. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I'm curious. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. Super close to 500 subs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.